All right, we're back at the lake here. I'm excited to bring you guys a little PLO action. We're in for our usual 300. Let's get into it. All right, so first hand to know, we look down at ace, king, 10, 10, single suited to the ace on the button. There's a limper. I go ahead and make it 15, and we get 3 callers. So we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes king, 6, 3 with 2 clubs. When it checks to me, I decide to check. We're going to a turn. Turn brings a deuce, and again, it checks to me, and can't really do anything here on this board besides check. River brings a 10, bringing in the backdoor flush, and one of the players decides to bet 55. Folds to me, I think for a bit here, but I don't think I can do anything besides fold, so that's what I do. Still 5-handed, we look down at king, queen, 9, 7, double suited under the gun, and we decide to make it 20, and we get 3 callers, so we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes ace, king, 7, all diamonds, and the small blind doesn't waste any time before leading for 60. Folds to me, and can't really call on this board, so I fold. So here we look down at queen, jack, jack, 5, double suited under the gun. I go ahead and limp. There's a late position raise to 25, 1 caller, folds back to me, and I go ahead and call. So we're going 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes 8, 6, 5 with 2 hearts. When it checks to me, I check, and the original raiser checks, so we're going to a turn. Turn brings an ace, and checks to me. I go ahead and check, original raiser checks. Going to a river, brings a 10, checks all the way through again, and original raiser shows his hand and takes it down. Here we look down at king, king, queen, 3, single suited in the cutoff. There's 1 limp to me. I go ahead and make it 20. Folds back to the big blind. He calls, and the limper calls. So we're going 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes jack, 9, 9, rainbow. And when it checks to me, I decide to check. This flop's going to be a little bit better for their range, so decide to take a free card. Turn brings queen, and the limp caller decides to lead 20. I call, and the big blind folds, so we're going heads up to a river. River comes a 7, bringing in the backdoor flush, and my opponent bets 20 again. And although I'm getting a good price, this opponent does this duplicate bet on the turn and river when he has a hand he doesn't really want to get raised with, but he's trying to just get a little extra value, so I decide to fold. So here we look down at ace, ace, jack, 6, single suited to the ace in the big blind. There's a couple limps, then middle position player makes it 30. There's 2 callers, and I go ahead and push for my remaining chips. Then back to the original raiser, he calls, and then the other 2 players call. So we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes queen, 9, 2, and they all check, so we're going to a turn. Turn brings an 8, so pretty awful card here, as jack 10 obviously is very possible with a lot of 2-pair combos, but they again all check around, so we're going to a river. River brings another pretty awful card in the king of hearts, and they all check around again. So it might be good, but my opponent shows his hand, ace, king, queen, 6 with 3 diamonds. The other player turns his hand over, king, 10, 10, 3. The third player mucked, so looks like I was probably ahead until the river. So unfortunately, he gets there, and we're in for another 300. So we go carded here, the first 3 or 4 orbits into the second $300 bullet before we look down at queen, jack, 10, 8, single suited on the button. There's an early position open. I go ahead and call, and then both blinds call. So we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes queen, 10, 3 with 2 clubs. And when it checks to me, I decide to pot it for 80, and everyone folds, so we take it down. First hand that we've won, and it's about 2 hours into the session. Here we look down at a very similar hand to the previous one, queen, jack, 10, 8, single suited on the button. Player to my right makes it 20. I go ahead and call, and one of the blinds calls, so we're going 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes 10, 8, 4 with 2 hearts, and when it checks to me, I go ahead and bet 55. The only player that calls is the big blind, so we're going to a turn. Turn comes a king, and when he checks to me, shouldn't help his hand. I mean, I'm going to put him on some kind of draw, most likely a flush draw, so I decide to put maximum pressure on and bet 175. He ends up tanking for a bit, but ends up making the call, so we're going heads up to a river. River brings a 9 of clubs, giving me the nuts straight. He goes ahead and pots it. I call, and he ends up turning over king, queen, jack, 3 with 2 hearts. So he did, as I assumed, have the flush draw. He picked up a pair on the turn, and then we both chop with the nut straight on the river. So this one here picks up on the flop. Pre-flop, just a couple late limpers. I check my option, the small blind. Flop, jack, 9, 3. Middle position player leads out for 20. There's a caller. I called, and the big blind called. So 4 ways to a turn. Turn comes a 10 of hearts, and I decide to check, and it actually checks through. So we're going to a river. River brings an offsuit 4. Everyone again checks, and I show my hand. Then the middle position player shows his hand and takes it down. So this hand kind of strikes me as one that I could have potentially bet the turn and tried to, take it down on a semi-bluff. But what I've typically seen from the average PLO player is if they flop anything, whether it's flush draw, straight draw, they're usually not going to fold until the river. So that's why I typically end up being a little bit passive and checking in a lot of spots where I could be betting. Most players, you can't really bluff bad players, I should say. If someone's a good player, they're capable of making big laydowns. Let me know what you guys think about that. Here we look down at ace, queen, jack 10, single suited to the ace under the gun. I go ahead and open it to 20. We get one caller from late position and everyone else folds. So we're going heads up to a flop. Flop comes 10, 9, 7 rainbow. I check. He goes ahead and bets 25 and I call. So we're going to a turn. Turn comes a king, and I thought about leading out, but he's a pretty aggressive player, so I'm pretty sure if I check, he's gonna lead out. So I check. He does indeed bet $60, and I go ahead and shove. He tanks for a bit, but ends up folding. Here we look down at ace, king, 10, 6, single suited to the ace in the hijack. There's an early position open to 15. One caller. I go ahead and call, and the small blind calls. So we're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes 6, 2, 2 with 2 diamonds. The original raiser bets 25 when it's checked to him. I go ahead and call. Then the small blind check raises to 75. The original raiser calls, and then back to me with the decision to make. So I think it's pretty obvious I'm up against at least one deuce here. I think in general, it's just usually a bad idea to call with flush draws on paired boards. Sure, I'm most likely not dead here, but another problem you run into is you don't really know which diamond or flush card you want to hit. You don't know if it's going to fill them up. So I decided to fold here. Definitely curious to know what you guys think. So they ended up going heads up to a turn, which brought a 9. The small blind ended up potting it, and the other player ended up tank folding. So not quite sure what he had, possibly combo draw maybe. Here we look down at ace, queen, queen 3, single suited to the ace in middle position. There's a limper to me. I go ahead and limp. Then there's another limper behind. Both the blinds check. So we're going 5 ways to a flop. Flop comes 7, 3, 2 rainbow. When it checks to me, I go ahead and check. Late position player bets 15. Folds back to me, and I go ahead and make the call. Heads up to a turn, which brings a queen of clubs. I check. He goes ahead and bets 30. And I go ahead and pot it. Make sure I got to charge straight draws and flush draws. He tanks for a bit and folds, so we take it down. After that set of queens hand, we go about an hour real time without really playing much until we look down at ace, ace, 7, 3, single suited to the ace in middle position. There's an early position limp. I go ahead and limp. A couple late position limpers. Both the blinds check, and we're going 6 ways to a flop. Flop comes ace, 9, 8 with 2 diamonds, and the player to my right goes ahead and bets 20 when it's checked to him, and I make it 60. Although I do have the nut flush draw, there's obviously a lot of straight cards that I don't want to see, so I want to make sure I charge people the max. When I fold it back to him, he goes ahead and makes the call, so we're going heads up to a turn. Let's listen to the audio here to see how the rest of the hand plays out.
There's my money card, 9 of hearts. I got a full house.
Choose the better.
All of it, baby. I got quads! Let's go, ship it. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. Yeah. All their bases.
What's up, guys? Wayne back here with you. So just finished up. I was in for 600, out for 0. Session started out kind of slow. It was 5-handed, so I was playing a little wider than I normally would. Got whittled down to a little bit over $100. Ended up getting it all in with aces. Ended up getting 3 callers. I believe I was good till the river, but he rivered 2 pair and took it down. After rebuying, I did win a couple small pots. I was able to get it back up to over $500, so within $100 of even. Lost a couple small ones, then obviously you saw that last hand there. You know, I kind of had a feeling, but obviously not much I could do, so it is what it is, as they say. If you guys enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe button. If your viewing experience could have been better, please let me know how down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.